pirate's life is a wonderful life, rolling over the sea. Can we hear 3 cheers for these buccaneers? A pirate's life is for me. You know how you can tell that wasn't spontaneous? Because I came into the car and the camera was already rolling, so like I planned that out. That wasn't spontaneous. I said, I'm gonna set the camera up and then I'm gonna sing this ridiculous pirate song and act like it was all spontaneous. That's how videos work. Nothing is really spontaneous. So Facebook has informed me that if I don't do at least 1 video per year, they're gonna take away my channel and sell it to a scammer who's gonna play videos of Indian guys with sandals making car parts out of their toenails or something. So here's your video, 1 video per year. Hopefully I'll make more than that, but knowing myself, you get about 1 video per year. Oh yeah, this whole time I was supposed to be taking my boots off. This is a video about boots. Boots. So for the last 2.5 to 3 years, I'll put my little Home Depot receipt up here. I want to say about 2.5 years, I've been wearing these DeWalt boots. I bought them cheap. 40 bucks I think I paid, because they were on clearance from Home Depot. I think they were discontinuing this line of DeWalt boots. So I said, ooh, let me get some cheap $40 boots. I've been wearing them, not every day, maybe about 3 days a week since then, about 2.5 years. And they're starting to get a little worn. I've been very pleased with them. They're comfortable. Now, I'm not a good judge of what comfortable footwear is, because I'll wear uncomfortable footwear and just get used to it and not even notice. So I'm a bad judge of that, but they fulfilled their duty, certainly for $40 many times over. But they're starting to crack, and it's just time to get some new boots. I'll show you here. I gotta take them off. They're real dirty because I was just working in a garden, putting a fence in a garden. But these are them. You can't smell them, but they stink really bad because I've been sweating in them all day. Ugh. Not too bad. I usually wear shoes inside. I don't like wearing boots when I'm working exclusively inside. So I only wore these maybe like 3 days a week. But as you can see, you know, they still got some life left in them. If I'm doing a real dirty job, I'll still use these. But it was time to get some new boots. So I said, well, I could cheap out again and get, you know, another like really cheap $40 pair. Or I could do the same thing that I do with tools. What do I do with tools? I buy the cheapest piece of trash out there, and then I also buy very, very nice. Well, here's the cheap piece of trash, and I said, why don't I stick with the program here and get the nicest work boots that I could find. And made in the USA. Now, I started searching, and I saw, you know, different boots. Keen. What are some of the other ones? Thurgood. There's a whole, you know all the boot brands. And there's like the real cheap ones like Timberland and Carhartt. I think they have their own boot line. But like of the actual professional boot line, it seems like Thurgood is like the main one. Because as soon as I typed in Thurgood, I was getting their ads all over my Facebook and everything. And I saw, ooh, made in the USA. Let me look into this. So I started looking at their boots, and I look into it, and I see Thurgood, made in the USA, with global materials. Ow. Oh. Global materials. Kind of like how your Craftsman drill is made in the USA with global materials. Not good! Not good! If something is made in the USA, it should be 100% made in the USA. Or it should say assembled in the USA. Oh, okay, the leather is from the US. and the soles are in the U.S., and it's sewed together in the U.S., but your eyelets and your shoelace and your this and your that is not made in the U.S., then it's not made in the U.S. It's not. It's assembled in the U.S. It's like all the other cheap crap. Cheap crap made in China. So I continued doing research. And I'm sure it's not the only boot brand, but it's the only boot brand that like I was able to find within a reasonable amount of time on a Google search. Origin. Is it Origins or Origin? Origin. Origin USA. Farmington, Maine. Farmington, Maine is in the boonies. It's up in central Maine. Middle of nowhere. Made by... I think Jacko Willick is like one of the original investors, and then there's a UFC or like a fighting guy who created the company and is the CEO of the company. But their mission was to be one of the very few boot making companies, work boot companies in the U.S. to make 100% made in the USA boots. And I said, that's what I want. So I found a boot that I thought would work, and I purchased it. It was very expensive. It was nearly 10 times the cost of these crappy DeWalt boots. It was a solid $100 more than the competition, like Thorogood. The final end product for these puppies was $300, and again, I'll put the receipt up here, $325, I think, something like that. They're here. I got them. I didn't open it yet. Let me not show my address. I didn't open them yet. They're still plastic tape on the box. So you and me are gonna do it live! We'll do it live!
No. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
I just finished my coffee, so I'm like very energetic. Do it live! Here we go. Let's see what $325 gets you at Origins, Maine. Made in the USA boots. Unboxing. Don't we all love unboxings? Need an associate's degree to get into these boxes sometimes. All right, here we go. I hope they fit. Ooh. Fresh leather. Origin. Wow. Wow. Did I get a second one? I did get a second one. Look at this. That's $300 worth of boot right there. Ooh, they got the little stamp on them too. All right, let's take a look. Double stitching. I don't know how to review a footwear. Like, I don't know what to look for. What do you look at? Like the thickness of the eyelets? The thickness of the leather? I don't know. There's the eyelets. Let's see what the sole looks like. It's a fabric sole. Pretty squishy. Wow. I don't know. Like, that's it. It looks sweet. Slip resistant, oil resistant. Made in the USA. Is this backwards on there, or does it show us forwards? Made in the USA. Do they have like a little story piece here? Origin. Mainers have been making footwear for over 200 years. In New England factories, our parents and grandparents toiled day and night, tanning hides, stamping brass, and stitching boots. It was all stripped away. The machinery, the jobs, and the pride of our community. But knowledge can't be taken, and it lives on in the people who were left behind. It was time for change, so we took back the machines, we resurrected the jobs, and we discovered our pride once again. With calloused hands and old world craftsmanship, we built these boots for you. The soul of a community lives on in every pair. Leather and brass made by American hands. Farmers, factory workers, craftsmen. They made this country. They also made these boots. The origin of American craftsmanship lives on in every pair. Built to work, made for life. This is kind of cool. I don't have much space here. I'm kind of limited on space, but it's backwards, so I can't read it. The soul of a community lives on in every pair. Made in the USA. Made in Maine, USA. And then it's got a little picture here. A wagon. Is that a cow lashed up alongside of a horse? Oh, it's a donkey. They got a cow and a donkey. Cow, donkey. I guess they were short on horses that day. This one might be a horse. The head's cut off. Bro, you got a goofy setup here. All right. I guess I'll put them on and we'll see how they look. Oh, baby, that fits perfectly. Ooh, I was a little nervous there, but that fit is perfect. Wow. Initial thoughts, very sweet. Very good fit. I'm a size 10.5. These are 11s, and this is like, which means it'll expand a little bit as the leather stretches, and that'll be perfect. Pretty freaking nice, pretty comfortable. Very comfortable. It'll take a little while to wear them in, just like any other boot, for the leather to work in. So I'll kind of phase them in, maybe wear them for an hour or two, then switch to the old ones. And within a few weeks, it will be perfectly worn in. All right, so what's the larger point here? I'm not like knocking made in China goods. Sometimes I do that, but they have their place, you know. As I said, I like cheap stuff as much as the next guy. I always go for deals, but I also go for real American-made products. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is a real American-made product. It does not get more made in America than this. And you know, places like rural Maine are one of those places that you got to support, you know. Like if you've got a company that is the heart and soul of a town, you know those kinds of companies, you don't see them too much anymore. But those small manufacturing units that really determine the character of a town. Vice grips, like Malco and the old Irwin vice grip plant. I've made videos about that. That's a classic example. You know, it's a town. That town in Nebraska is like 1,000 people, and 80 of them are employed at it's the number one employer in the town. All the best paying jobs are at that plant. Fewer and fewer of those kinds of companies and places in America. So, you know, I'm not saying you got to go out and buy the most expensive $300 pair of boots. There's nothing wrong with going to the middle of the pack, or, you know, buying a Thorogood or whatever. But it sure is nice. when you can put on a pair of boots or put a tool in your hand that is 100% American made. Who knows, with these tariffs, maybe there will be a greater incentive to make things in the U.S. I don't know. I don't really have a strong opinion one way or the other on that, but I definitely know that whenever I can, I try and support these kinds of companies. So I'm going to make a trip up to Maine. It's not that far from me, but I'm going to find a reason to go up there. They have a store up there in Farmington, Maine. And they make denim, belts, some other things. So I'm going to find a reason to go up there. It's probably about a 4-hour drive, but I'll find a reason to go up there and check out their store. So Origin, shameless plug. I'm not getting any money off of this, though. Maybe I could make this into like an Origin commercial and like shamelessly plug everything. And maybe that when I go up there to their store, they'll give me like a sticker for free and a hug. Origin Boots, Farmington, Maine. Check them out. They make great boots. If you guys want, I'll give you like a 6-month follow-up. I'll let you know how these boots do. And thanks for watching. See you next year, right?